Okay, Algebra 2, I'm on page 619. We're going to do number 7 together. But first, before I do that, I want to make sure you realize that I'm operating with different foci points here, and here's why. If you remember, way back on page 615, we said that the foci were either C0 or negative C0, or if it was vertical, we would say 0C and 0 negative C. That was only for when the ellipse was centered at 0, 0. So since we're dealing with an ellipse that is not we're going to have to use slightly different formulas. You can find what I have here on page 616 in the key concept box. Okay, that's basically what I'm working with. So number 7 is right here. Okay, and I'm going to try, I don't know how best I can do this. I'm going to try to get both these things in the screen at the same time. There we go. It's close enough. All right. Number 7 says we need to find the center, the foci, the lengths of the major and minor axis with the given equation. This says graph it. We're not going to graph. We're just going to work on finding those things. So the center is pretty easy. Remember, h and k are in the formula. However, do you see how it says y plus, the y is first and the x is back here? Right? When the y is first, that means we're going to have a vertical ellipse. Okay? We're going to have a vertical ellipse. And this is the k. So our center, right? Our center here should be exactly opposite. This is the h. All right, so the center, the center is, whoa, that's kind of, there we go. All right, so the center is 5. Remember, I'm getting that from the h up here. It's opposite. And the k is also opposite, which is over here, which is a -1. All right, so that's the center of this ellipse. And you can see that in this formula here. There's the k and there's the h. Now, next up is the foci, okay? And let's get that in a second because I want to bring your attention down here that the foci we will need, we have h and k, right? It's actually this one here. That's the vertical one, okay? This is for the horizontal. So we need c, all right? Well, to get c, we have this formula down here, all right? So let's first find the major arc and the minor arc. Find a and b, all right? So we know that 64, right? 64 is equal to a squared, and we know that 28 is equal to b squared, right? Both of those things are true here. Okay. Now, if we take the square root of this, we know that a equals 8, and go ahead and take the square root of 28 for me, so you can find b. Okay, so my b is coming out here. It's about 5.3. Okay, the square root of 28 was about 5.3. Now, the reason that a and b are helpful is they can tell us the major and minor arcs, right? The major arc is 2 times a. So the distance of the major, run out of space again. So the distance of the major, what's 8 times 2? 16, right? The major axis is 16. So the minor, we will do the same and multiply our 5.3, which is b. b times 2, that looks like it's about, I'm going to put this approximate symbol. It's about 10.6, okay, give or take. And that answers 2 of our things that they're asking for. So the last thing that we need is the foci. And if you remember, I said we will need c for that. Sorry, it's this formula here because it's vertical, right? We need to add it to our k value and subtract it from our k value. So I will use the formula you can see in the bottom left of your screen. C squared equals a squared minus b squared. I don't know what c squared is, so I will leave it as c squared. I do know what a squared is, though. It's 64, and b squared was 28. So 64 minus 28 should give us 36, right? So c squared equals 36, and you guys are smart enough to know that c then is square root 6. So now that we have c, let's go ahead and plug it in for our foci. Remember, we're using this one because it's the vertical formula. So what's h? H was 5. So my foci, which I will put here, foci are 5, comma, and then we say k plus c. So k was negative 1. Negative 1 plus 6 is a 5. Remember, there should be 2 foci points, so the second one will be H, which is 5, again, comma, now it's K minus C. So we have a -1 minus 6 should be -7, and it looks like these should be both of our points. Okay, I want to try another one with you. Hopefully you guys have got it, but let's try another one here. I'm going to just do it on this page now. This is number 8 on the same page, and you can see that this one is a horizontal. Hopefully you're noticing that. Number 8 is a horizontal ellipse, and I know that because x comes first, right? X is over a squared. All right, so let's again find H and K. That one's pretty simple. H is, we're using this formula now. Remember, it's horizontal because X is first. So it looks like H is -2. It's the opposite, remember. And the K should be a +1. This is the center. Okay, let's go down and find the major and minor arcs. Find A and B. So I know A squared is 48. Oops. A squared is this number, 48. And I know that B squared is 20. Okay, and once again we are going to use our calculator to come up with those values. Okay, so my calculations here, guys, it looks like I have regular A at that looks like 6.9-ish, and it looks like B is 4.5-ish. Remember, those are rounded. So if we multiply them by 2, it'll tell us what the major and minor arcs are. So I will say the major is, what's 6.2 times 2? That's about, was that 13.8-ish? All right. And the minor then will be 4.5 times 2, which is about 9-ish. Remember, these are, again, estimates. So that's how long the major axis is, and the minor axis is about 9. Okay, so we're going to use this point for the foci because it's horizontal again, right? So we're using this top one, not the one we just used. We'll add and subtract C to H, but to do that, we need C. We're going to use this formula down here. So C squared equals A squared, 48, minus B squared, which is 20. 48 minus 20 is 28. And if we take the square root of 28, didn't we? Did we just do that on the? Yes, I think we did on the first problem. The square root of 28 was 5.3. Perfect. So C is equal to 5.3-ish. Right, C is equal to 5.3-ish. I'm going to go ahead and add and subtract that to the H. Right, I'm going to add and subtract that to the H. So H was, let's see, where was H? H was -2, right? So -2, and we're going to say plus 5.3, and that looks like it's a 3.3, right? So the foci looks like it's 3.3, and then we just have the K value here, right? The K value is 1. And then we need to do the same thing, but we need to subtract. So we need to say -2 minus 5.3. And that, guys, gives me a -7.3. And K will stay the same, which is 1. Okay, guys, I'm going to have you try a couple of problems here. If you have any questions, please let me know so I can help. I'm going to write it. Ooh, running out of space. I'll write it right there. I want you guys on, let's see, looks like it's page 620. And I want you to try number 25 and 27, and I encourage you to check those answers in the back. If you have any questions, please let me know.